Okay, I have my sketches here and my 10 ideas, and now I have to decide which one I want to make. So, I don't mind my first idea. This one had a different base on it, so I drew the base separately. This is kind of a usual, kind of classic vase. This one's classic. This one is built on trapezoids, a little more complex, and so I think that one could work fine. I like a moon style for the base. I think that would make a nice vase. Some of these come up from the bottom, which I like, but I really think the one I'm gonna land on is the last one. It does have 3 openings, but the idea that they all share a chamber. Like for a vase, I don't really see the benefit of having walls come down with 3 different chambers. So I think it's just gonna be one vase with 3 different openings at the top. So now what you have to do, after you have your 10 and you've picked which one, you're gonna make a model, and this is the one you're gonna make. So I would like them to be no larger than 8 inches in one direction. So that's about what these squares of paper are. So mine is not symmetrical, so I'm gonna have to freehand mine. If you do have a symmetrical form, and maybe this could be a little shorter here, just a little shorter vase. So now I'm gonna cut it out. But if you do have a symmetrical form, feel free to fold the paper so that you get both sides even with each other. If it's asymmetrical, then you're just gonna have to freehand it. But feel free to take a look at it, with this idea that everything is a process and that you have to use your judgment along the way. So I can look at that and decide, oh, maybe I want this part to come in just a little bit more, so it matches that other one. So the idea that you're not stuck with what you have, but you really need to look at it and decide. I was holding it up there. Now I did think it's a little tall. I wanted it a little shorter. So I'm just gonna take my paper and fold it. And paper, for the most part, will fold straight. So you can see that I actually never had to use the ruler. I still think this should come in a little bit. You're welcome to use the ruler though, if you want to. Every table has a ruler. And I have more up here by my desk. Okay, so now this is one side. My pot's gonna go up like that. And so what I wanna do is trace this exact thing out of another piece of paper. And then I'm gonna have to put the sides on it to make it 3-dimensional. So I will do that, but I just wanna show you that if you have a symmetrical form, you can fold your paper in half. And if this is the style of vase that you want, you would cut out 2 of these and then do the side pieces on there. All right, so I'll build mine and then I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, I have my form all made, and you have to look at it and decide if you like it. You'll notice that I did use tabs of tape to tape it all together, and we're using the blue tape because we're gonna have to take it apart to trace it out of the clay. Now, the only thing that I had a little bit of trouble with is getting these nice and even. So I will trim that because you're gonna use these patterns exactly as they are to cut them out of the clay. So there's no, I'll just make them bigger or I'll just make them smaller. You have to have it planned out exactly the way that you want it. Now, one thing you could think about is maybe you want your vase upside down. So maybe I want my vase like this, with this being the top, or maybe I want it like this, with this being the top. I think I still like it like this, with the idea of cutting either circle holes for the flowers or square holes. That's what I'll have to decide. Okay, you'll turn in your sketches and a photo of your sketches and your paper model for the grade. Next up is the next step in the process of making this out of clay. Okay, there's also something really nice about a hexagon or an octagon as the base of your pot. So I'm gonna trace this. You know, if you don't have something to trace, you can make it by folding your paper and then cutting off the edge. It doesn't, you know, it won't be perfect, but it can work. So I'm gonna take this and fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. Now this will be an octagon. If you want a hexagon 6-sided, you would fold it this way and then fold it that way again, which I can do. I'll do a hexagon. Now I'm going to decide where I want that to be. You know, how big I want it to be. That's really the middle. So I could make this one wider. Actually, I'm going to cut it a little more straight. May take you a couple tries to get that line straight so that it comes out straight. But now we have the same thing I just traced, a 6-sided form. You can see it's a little off. This side's a little smaller, but when it's the base, it certainly could work. So maybe better to find one to trace. And now I am going to find some side strips that are the right size. So I'm just gonna put it on here and mark. And I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna fold. So I'm gonna take that and fold it over and then fold it down. And then I'll cut the height of that. And then I'll trace that. So I have to decide how tall I want it to be. And when I decide on the height, I'm just gonna fold it again. Maybe we'll make this one a little taller. I said about 8 inches, so we'll make it 8 inches. I'm just gonna cut that so it's the same top and bottom. And so now these would be my side pieces. So I am going to cut 6 of those. Okay, I'm going to stop here in the process and just show you what I've done. The strips need to be the same width as my hexagon, and then I'm going to pull it up and tape those like this, and they're the same height. So I'll finish doing that. But I just wanted to show you how I did the tabs and then how I created that hexagon base. Okay, I have my hexagon vase. The sides were all cut the same. They're a little different at the top. I'm not gonna worry about that now. I can change that later. But your one unique shape certainly is the bottom, and then there are rectangles coming up from the side. So just one more example for your slab vase.